What's up, guys? Mike here again, and we're back with another video doing draft grades, this time for the NFC South. We're almost all the way through the NFL. This is the 7th video. If you've missed the previous 6, or any of the previous 6, go check those out. If you're just checking me out for the first time, just checking this video out for, these videos out for the first time, what we're doing is we're grading each division, video by video, team by team, pick by pick. So we're going to go through one team first, next. We're going to go through all of their picks. The grades are based off of where they were ranked on my board, where they were picked, do they fit in need, players that weren't on my board for whatever reason, unless there's a special circumstance given, they're generally given a C. Team-specific timestamps are going to be given down below, so if you don't want to hear me talk, let's say you're a fan of Atlanta and you don't want to listen to me talk for 10, 15 minutes before I get to your team, just click on the link below. I won't take offense to it. It's okay. Let's start with the Carolina Panthers. They had the 8th overall pick to start off, and they got Christian McCaffrey, who I had rated as my 18th overall player. I like the pick. Obviously, I think if Fournette was there, they probably would have taken him, but I don't really think Fournette would have been a fit. I think they got the best fit for their offense. They're a shotgun team, and Christian McCaffrey can do so many different things. They needed offensive weapons to to put on this offense. Anyways, I really liked it. I gave it a B+. He's not going to be a full carry the load running back like Jonathan Stewart would be, where you can hand them the ball 25 times a game. But he takes some of the pressure off of Cam Newton. Newton won't have to do as much, won't have to run the ball as much, and you can put him out of the pistol at running back, out of the shotgun at running back. You can put him in the slot, put him out wide. He's an offensive weapon, and he's going to return kicks for you too. One of the most versatile player, probably the most versatile player in this entire draft class. Really like the pick. Really solid. Good on Dave Gettleman for getting Cam some help. They double dipped at 40, got another offensive weapon in Curtis Samuel, who I had rated 58th on my board. I gave it a B rather than a B+ because, I kind of see the same things in Curtis Samuel that I do in Christian McCaffrey. So they kind of double dip. I guess they wanted, hey, if both pan out and are amazing, we look up like geniuses. But one's got to pan out. If one doesn't pan out, we can at least fall back on the other. Came back at 64 and got Taylor Moton out of Western Michigan. Listen, I liked Taylor Moton. People wondered, well, if he's so good, why is he only playing right tackle? Western Michigan's got a really good left tackle for next year. More on him in a couple of months. I gave it an A-. He was my 88th overall player. So it seems like maybe a tad bit of a reach. But, it was a position in need. Cam takes a beating because their offensive line is terrible. I think that he's better than Matt Khalil, who's probably going to play left tackle for them. So maybe he even plays left tackle for them. They need to protect Cam. Cam's the franchise. You got to protect him. Deshaun Hall was their next pick at 77. I'll be honest, I looked at him when I was doing the immediate draft grades, and I went, well, that doesn't seem right. I had him a little too low. He was around 200 for me, and I went, oh yeah, that's right. I was going to go back and rewatch his tape because he was starting to get a lot of buzz again, and I hadn't really adjusted him much after the Senior Bowl, and he was apparently dominant at the Senior Bowl, and I don't remember it, so I was going to go back. So it's rated as an incomplete grade, needed to be adjusted. So I just gave it a B. You know what? They need pass rushers. Their pass rushers are really old right now. They traded Coney Ealy, and they're left with Julius Peppers and Charles Johnson. So get younger at a position of need. I liked it. Gave it a B. Corn Elder at 152. Graded him 112. Gave it a B+. Listen, I think he's better than the players they've already got there. I don't really like the corners that they've got on roster. I think that they're too gung-ho on, hey, we can just kind of throw young unproven guys to try to replace Josh Norman. I think Corn Elder's already the best corner on their roster. So I like the pick. I like the value. Maybe I'm a little bit too low in grading this a B+. But overall, I can't really complain. I'm kind of indifferent about the pick. I like it, but I don't like it too much. I don't love it. And in order for them to get an A, I need to love it. Alex Arma, a small school defensive end. I had never heard of him. Matt Miller had never heard of him. I reached out to a couple other draft writers. They had never heard of him. I gave it a D+. If I can talk to 3 draft experts and They don't know who he is. Why am I grading it my normal C? And then they finished off the draft by getting a kicker, Harrison Butker. I give this a C because, again, he wasn't on my board. And normally I obviously don't scout kickers because I have better shit to do. But, I generally grade kicker picks higher than that because if you're drafting a kicker, you have a need at kicker. I don't think the Panthers do. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Graham Gano is not that bad. Unless he just completely fell off last year, I don't think he's a bad kicker. I could be wrong. If you're a Panthers fan and you have an opinion on Graham Gano, let me know because last I checked, he was actually pretty good. So they got B+, B, A- B, B+, D+, C, which gives them an overall grade of a B. Pretty solid draft for Carolina. Few hits, a couple of hits, a couple of really good picks, and a few misses. Next up, the New Orleans Saints. These guys had a weird draft. At 11, they have the best healthy corner, because Sidney Jones is healthy. As I said, with the NFC East video, Sidney Jones is the top 5 player if he's healthy. So the top healthy cornerback, who was my 3rd overall player after the injury, Marshawn Lattimore. He falls to them at 11. The Saints really had no choice at that point but to help fix that depleted secondary. P.J. Williams was starting for them last year. Delvin Breaux at number 2. Ken Crawley was 7th rounder undrafted and an immediate starter for them. Just how? So obviously that's an A+. Addressed a massive need. Got a top 5 player to follow them at 11. Beautiful. Ryan Ramczyk was pick 32. He was my 28th overall player. I think he can kick Zach Strief into guard, upgrade 2 positions at once. He plays some right tackle. Teron Armstead has some injury concerns. You get a great player there at 32. I gave it an A-. I really like the pick. Marcus Williams, the safety out of Utah, at 42. Again, addressing some needs at safety. I guess they want to go 3 safeties because they have Von Bell and Kenny Vaccaro, and they like Kenny Vaccaro. Not really sure what that says about Von Bell. So I gave it a B- just because, didn't they draft Von Bell in round 2 last year? I guess is to give him some competition. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sold on the pick either. Alvin Kamara at 67. He was 34th on my board. Really liked the pick. Thought it was great. Gave it an A. People have wondered, well, what are they going to, why would they do that? They have Mark Ingram and they have Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson is 32 years old, guys. He's shown for the last 2 years he really doesn't have much in the tank. If this was anyone but Adrian Peterson, we'd go, why is this guy still kicking around? But we just think, hey, Adrian Peterson was really good in 2011. Well, it's 2017 now, guys. Adrian hasn't really been good since I was in high school. Because when I was in high school was when he ran for the 2,000 yards. All right? He hasn't been good since I was 17 years old. I'm 22. I'm 21. Then I hated this next pick. At 76, they got Alex Anzalone, who I had graded at 220. This was a bad pick. I gave it a D-. Alex Anzalone was never healthy at Florida. Ever. Why was he the pick at 76? I have no idea. Much better linebackers available. Bad pick all around. Hated it. D-. Trey Hendrickson at 103 in the compensatory picks. Man, they really wrapped up quick. He was 111 on my board. Thought he was a good developmental pass rusher that could start probably by his 2nd year. Really good rotational guy year 1. B+ overall pick. Liked it. They finished at 196 with Al-Quadin Muhammad out of Miami. Formerly of Miami. He was kicked out of Miami, had some off-field issues. Hadn't scouted him because there was no tape on him before 2015 or 2014 even. It had been a while since anyone gathered tape on him, so it was too much for me to project. So I didn't scout him, and so he would have gotten a C. That off-field stuff bumps it down to a C-. So they get A+, A-, B-, A, D-, B+, C-, B. Which gives them an overall grade of a B. Pretty good draft for New Orleans. Definitely could have addressed corner a little bit more. Maybe instead of going for a safety, could have double dipped and got a second corner, but not too bad. Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's start with the steal of the draft, in my opinion. One of the steals of the draft. O.J. Howard at 19, rated 12 on my board. Could have gone top 5, and I wouldn't have had an issue with it. They got him at 19, A+. Cameron Brate's really good, and now they've got another good blocking tight end who can really catch. Underutilized at Alabama, we all knew that. Great pick, though. A+, A+, A+. At 50, Justin Evans, I had him rated at 75 on my board. I gave it a B-. I think that, again, there were probably some better safeties that could have gone. But in the end, I didn't really hate the pick. I didn't really love the pick either. Chris Godwin at 84. He was 52nd on my board. I love this pick. I gave it an A- again. This is, I guess this is showing that Vincent Jackson's probably gone. They've got a really good, they're building weapons for Jameis to throw to, and I think it was Mike Mayock that said it. This is a basketball team. They've got the point guard in Jameis throwing it. They got the fast shooting guard type guy that, that you can just throw way downfield and have Deshaun and Jackson go get it. And then you've got the twin towers on either side. You've got Mike Evans, who's 6'5". I believe Chris Godwin's 6'3" or 6'4" with a massive vert. I love it. I love the pick. I love the way that they're building that offense. And then, of course, you've got O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate in the middle. This team's going to be a playoff team. Kendall Beckwith was the last pick of the second day, at 107. He was 144th on my board, coming off an injury. I don't really get the pick, but I guess they're going to use him as a rotational linebacker because they've already got Quan Alexander. They've got Levante David. And I'm drawing a blank on who their middle linebacker is. But, I don't see the need for it, so I gave it a B-. They come back at pick 162, get Jeremy McNichols from Boise State, home of the Smurf Turf, who was rated 102 on my board. Doug Martin is hit or miss, injury prone. I think he checked himself into rehab or something. He had some off-field concerns this spring. This is kind of a guy that I think might be able to push Charles Sims, and I think he's better than guys like Peyton Barber. I mean, they had a definite need at running back. They addressed it. They were able to get a steal here. I gave it an A-. If he's able to beat out Doug Martin, I think that this can get upgraded to an A+ pretty quick. They finished on Stevie T. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name because I'm going to butcher it. 223 overall. I hadn't scouted him. I gave him a C because of that. So they get A+, B-, A-, B-, A-, C, which gives them an overall score of B+. Pretty good draft, especially for a team that's just on the cusp of being a playoff team. Now we've got the Atlanta Falcons to round up this video. No 28-3 leads were blown in this draft. Yeah, you know what? They're not a team with a whole lot of needs. So let's see how they did. At 26, this is who I fucking do it for. Find me later. That means every fucking thing, man. Tack fucking McKinley. If you don't understand why I'm saying fuck so much, watch his interview with Deion Sanders, one of the best moments of the draft. Brought a picture of his grandmother up on stage with him. And shared the backstory of that. I won't get into it too much. Very, very sweet moment. We need more really sweet moments in round one of the draft. I always love them. He was picked at 26. They traded up. I had him ranked 31st on my board. So really good value. But I don't really see a need. I think he's a little bit more of a rotation guy right now with what they've got at defensive end in that defense. Gave it a B+ because he's a good player and the value's right, but lack of perceived need bumps it down. So B+. Came back 75, got Duke Riley, who was kind of the draft riser. A lot of people thought he might go in round 2. I had him actually rated at 104 on my board. Again, lack of need. Deion Jones, Devondre Campbell. Got other good linebackers whose names are escaping me right now. Again, lack of need. don't really, like, less of a fit and less of a need than I think McKinley would have been. I gave it a B-. 136, Sean Harlow, a guard out of Oregon State, who was 202 on my board. I think guard was a position they needed to upgrade. I gave it a B because it fit a need, but it was a bit of a reach in my opinion. Guys like Asiata, I believe, was still available. There were some other really good guards that were better than Harlow there, but it did fit a need. I'll give it a B. Demonte KZ, the pick at 149. I had him graded at 231. Again, better options available at the position. Gave it a B-. I mean, Atlanta can really just do whatever they want at this point. They, unlike Carolina, who made the playoffs, who made the Super Bowl a couple years ago, but had some really bad needs. Atlanta is a fully stocked roster. So they can really do whatever they want. I guess if they have specific needs, like they need a fourth or a fifth corner, then I don't really mind. Brian Hill was the pick at 156, the running back out of Wyoming. He was my 83rd overall pick, or 83rd overall player. Love the value here. Don't really see a need for it again. They've got Freeman, they've got Coleman, so I mean, this is a Teron Ward replacement, but this guy is going to end up getting wasted because he's going to be the third running back on this team. Love the player pick, love love the value. Don't see a need, which bumps it from an A+ down to an A. Finished it off by getting Eric Saubert, a tight end out of Drake. Hadn't scouted him. I had heard of him, just never got around to watching him. They got him at 174. Hadn't watched him. C. So the Falcons get B+, B-, B, B-, A, and C for an overall grade of B. That's going to do it for now. Join me in a couple of hours where we finally finish this thing off and go with the NFC West. See you then, guys.